Welcome to the living world of darkness. Though I don't think many would know about the world of darkness, that it's living, for that matter. This particular night, in a somewhat humble abode, a man, well, frankly, I can't really call him a man at this point. He's more of a mix. Imagine Brundlefly from the Fly remake. You know the one, and you'll kind of get the idea of what he is. The home itself is filled with aquariums with various insects, primarily roaches, scurrying about in their little worlds. The man, once called Gregory Brokowski, is simply known as Roach at this moment. His skin is like a chitlin. It's very much like an insect's outer form. It feels slimy to the touch. It's an unnatural sheen to it. He has somewhat bulbous eyes. Eyes, of course, being a misnomer. They're more tumors, but they look like eyes. His eyes are underneath them, and his mouth looks more like a very much an insect's mandibles, though he can communicate. This change has, frankly, it's been amazing to study, in his mind at least. That's currently what he's doing, looking at his changing form and wondering how this relates to his bugs.
Is he currently researching or continuing his research?
He is. He's been compiling notes in a laptop that he has. It's very much an older model laptop. It's not something incredibly new, but it gets the work done. He's been compiling basically various feeding habits of bugs and what have you.
That's a crappy roll. As he's spending time that evening, it just gets better and better. As he's spending time, will you make me a perception alertness roll?
Okay, let me find my shit. So.
At a certain point where you have a little bit of a reprieve from your very, very feverish and focused study of these wonderful creatures, you hear what you think is someone perhaps not trying to get in or robbing it, but someone is walking fairly close to your residence. Either walking by or maybe looking at your car or something like that.
Greg Roach, in this particular moment, kind of scuttles himself towards his covered window. The window itself is fairly strong curtains, very much the kind that they would use in autopsy sort of things. Kind of opens it a little bit to see what's going on. see if some miscreant is trying to take off with his vehicle.
Just passing the window. You look at his back. He's passing it. But at some point he will turn around. He's staring, looking around, maybe staring. But then again, there aren't too many people around at this time. But he is staring at your car, which is a little weird. But what's perhaps more weird, doesn't look as though he's out for like normal commute and just stretching his legs. He has a fairly good looking suit on him, and he seems well kept. He's a bit like he's normal height, but he's quite round, quite barrel like, or like wide. Um, but he's a smile on his face, but he is staring somewhat, which, wow, make of that what you will.
Mm-hmm. Roach moves from the window, and he kind of scuttles towards his closet, takes out a hoodie that he wears. Better to, at the very least, not frighten people with this strange new look. It certainly can't be natural, but frankly, he's more interested in continuing self-research than anything else. As he puts on the hoodie itself, he then walks to the door and slightly opens it. Hey, can I help you? His voice is very nice sounding, but again, there's a bit of that kind of a bit of a chitter to it, as how we would think an insect would speak.
You catch him a bit off guard. He just looks up and just, hello, good evening. I was just looking around. I've heard some weird rumors around here. Tabloid stuff. I'm wondering if you heard anything about that.
Tabloid stuff, and
it's kind of an urban legend thing. It's not an urban legend yet, but some stuff about like some hideous thing skulking around at night.
Hideous thing? No, I've never seen or heard of anything like that. I'm going to roll manipulation subterfuge for that, since he is the since he is
I have no idea what you are talking about. Yeah, pretty much.
Only one. So.
He has two, even though he had two once. He will just stop there and just. Oh, that's good. So you like living here?
Well, it's no Four Seasons or anything like that, but it's got it. I got a roof over my head. Nothing. It keeps the elements off my back. I'm fine. I thoroughly enjoy my place.
Oh, you've been here long?
In the city, yes. Been here most of my life, actually, but more in the suburban area. Like I live here now because I'm a researcher. I research biologist. He speaks very awkwardly. It seems like he's not exactly the best socializer.
Well, he just looks at. Well, from what I've heard, researchers get. Maybe you're comfortable living here. I mean, I hear researchers make a lot of money, but Oh well, hey, that's not my business. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to ask you one more question, but I'm gonna have to apologize in advance for being a bit intrusive. He just says, "Wow, okay, that was better." Um, he doesn't say anything. Just looks at you, and you begin to feel this. It's almost like the sensation of when your foot or arm or hand falls asleep, but it's a bit lighter than that, but it's almost the same. And it starts at the back of your head, like he's looking at you, and this sensation just begins to build, and it's almost like it's spreading across the back of your head, or the back of your, well, mind, perhaps. I mean, that's the way you would describe it. And you kind of hear this voice that is coming from somewhere that is not your own, and you'll just hear like a question, and it's quite simple. It's are you allied with the Sabbat? Um, to which, to your surprise, you kind of just say, or you think, it's hard to describe, but I don't know what that is more or less the answer. Are you forced to give it, or do you give it? You can't really tell, but it's definitely something you haven't sensed before.
Very much as this stranger kind of stares, and he can hear this voice kind of popping into his head. Uh, he almost without a second, almost without a second thought, as if it was extremely natural, he just simply goes, "No, what?" As if maybe a little insulted by this indication of the Sabbat or what have you. He doesn't know what that means, but it sounds perhaps derogatory or in a way.
Well, I suppose that's a very good thing then. I I apologize for that intrusion. Might I come in? I do believe that the two of us are, well, related in a manner of speaking. He smiles very widely.
He simply nods and yes, sure. Let me mind the mess. He says it almost as if the little exchange had not happened. He opens the door ever so slightly. What the gentleman would see is again a fairly standard looking living room, a couch, something that looks like a chair. There's a TV. Uh, but the more obvious things are these aquariums and kind of little plastic cages filled with various kinds of bugs, predominantly vermin bugs. There are, of course, a few scorpions and spiders as well, but it seems predominantly roaches are the featured guests of this man's abode.
Uh, this man's like fixed smile doesn't seem to vary too much. He just looks around and just says, "Huh, quite a gathering. Wow, I mean, there's been some effort to get all those things squeezed in here." I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. My manners seem to be getting worse by the day. He puts out a hand. He's wearing gloves, but he seems to want to shake your hand.
He takes his hand and very much when he touches when the gentleman touches his hand, it feels very much rather slimy, almost like a kind of gooey, and the feel of uh, certainly if you've ever if you've ever had to like touch a beetle, for example, or some kind of uh, insect like that, it would certainly you could certainly feel that kind of sensation from the touch.
Hmm. Again, he doesn't seem to mind very much. He just looks down, just has a look at his glove after he's done shaking your hand. Just, huh, I do believe we are very much related. Theodore Williams. What is your name?
The name's Gregory, but Roach is a nickname. It feels more appropriate, and he kind of again seems very appropriate given the the new look. I guess related. You say, well, pardon my pardon me for suggesting anything, but you don't look a thing like me.
His face changes into this, which you by meta reasons have seen before. His demeanor appearance changes to a man who's packed in bandages, has a hat and goggles on. Well, I suppose with family I could show you if you are. Well, he looks at you. He looks you up and down a bit. Just, well, I could suppose. I mean, if you want proof, of course, I can provide you with it. But honestly, I do not know how long have you been a part of this, shall we say.
He kind of rubs the what you would assume is like his chin, and his teeth they kind of skitter a little bit. They kind of do that kind of sound as he kind of rubs his chin. I'd say it's been almost a month now, I believe. I I got bit by something, and I don't know what kind of disease it was, but well, as you can see, it did this to me. Honestly, I figure I should be completely terrified over what this is, but maybe it's the scientist within me. It's been interesting, to say the least. I've been recording it,
Hmm.
and he
Well,
kind of.
I am terribly sorry, but such inquiry is commendable, I suppose. But I must ask that you destroy any, well, recorded evidence, and maybe you can keep a logbook of sorts that you keep on your person at all times. But any recordings or things
Oh
that
no no
might.
no 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 no! I don't really do recordings all that much. I feel that it's a distraction. No. Notes I make. And he shows the laptop. Very much it's all typed out notes. There are some pictures, but
I
there's nothing.
must I must ask you not to connect this laptop to the internet. You are part of a quite large society now that, well, we will all wish our secrets kept quite secret. I'm sure you understand with our uh, appearances, most people would not react too well to it.
He nods as he uh, basically unplugs the ethereal cable, the cable that connects to the internet from the laptop. Fair enough. I mean, frankly, if even if this kind of information was released, well, we'd have we'd probably have people trying to pick us apart and think we're some, center of disease control. Oh no, that would certainly not be very good for me. It would keep me away from my research, and I simply can't have that at all. So,
Hmm. You take much pride in this, I see. He looks at the cages and the aquariums.
yes, he kind of moves towards the one of the cages has Madagascar roaches in them. It's like yes, I've always been fascinated with insects. They've always been. I don't know how to really explain it. I guess in a way of terms, it's a familial connection in a way. Everybody thought they were, gross and disgusting, and well, people thought I was gross and disgusting. Maybe there was some kind of camaraderie with that, but people, they look at these things and they go, so it's disgusting. They need to be destroyed, but they they don't. They're tremendously important creatures, and he actually opens up the little plastic cage, and he takes one out, and it starts kind of scurrying around on his hand, and he just goes, they're tremendously important for the environment. They are extremely important for biodegradation of bodies and things like that. Without them, well, we'd be in all dead matter. We'd basically be suffocating in them. Isn't that right? And he starts kind of like he starts chittering. He starts chittering a little bit.
And they are extremely resilient, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yes, very much. They're also just the fact that they have such a strong constitution. I mean, the fact that you can cut one's head off and it'll survive for at least a week without food and water really expresses, how hardy these creatures are. And really, if if the only problem that people have with them is just the fact that they come into your home and people think that they spread disease, that's not necessarily true either. They're actually fairly clean. Isn't that right? Yes, very much. And he pets it like an animal, well, like a dog, as he puts it back into the little dwelling of its own.
This guy, he's just looking at you and just, well, I must honestly say, you're probably the person I've met, well, ever, who's taken this, well, the best. You seem to be quite.
If he were to look around, he would see, of course, some family photos or work photos. What he looked like before the change was very much a rather portly man, very much a regular face. Honestly, it's the kind of face that never stands out in a crowd. Very pretty much. Well, I was not much of a looker to begin with, so honestly, this is probably an improvement.
Hmm. Well, that is a very, very healthy attitude to life. Well, on life, whatever you want to. How much do you know of your, well, our condition?
Well, I sleep during the day, and I seem to be more active at night, so I'm clearly nocturnal. Uh, Regular food does not appeal to me. In fact, I tried to eat some, and I ended up throwing it up with some kind of weird uh, goo. It looked like blood, and I tasted it. It certainly was blood. Uh, I feel more inclined to eat uh, other things. He It's like I have to say, maybe a night or so ago, I actually grabbed a rat, and I ate that, and it actually tasted fairly decent.
Mm.
So clearly, some kind of dietary change, and of course the physical change of whatever this disease or whatever it is you want to call it.
It is, well, it is a condition that I would not necessarily describe as a disease. I do not know if you have noticed that you do not have a pulse anymore.
Yes, that is very true actually, and the fact is that I don't feel like I need to breathe. The fact that I don't need to go to the bathroom. Uh,
Yes.
the fact that I don't need to, well, he kind of chitters a bit. Is well, you know what a healthy young man does when he's alone. Uh,
Yes,
in
I'm quite aware. Please, that will suffice. He just shakes his hand very lightly and just at you and just, well, going by popular culture, what would you suspect yourself to have become? Just judging by the symptoms.
Hmm, well, if I were to go through a process of elimination, I would have to say I'm some sort of uh, Dracul, the vampire, or some sort of thing of that nature. At least going by.
We we have a different name for it. It's, well, kindred among each other. But yes, you are one of us, and you are specifically of my family, my blood. Not that I had anything to do with your, well, becoming this way. Your appearance would indicate that we share blood.
I see.
My current look is not a fashion statement. I do not know if you've seen others of our, well, blood. My visage is, well, something I keep to myself. It is somewhat disheartening, although with your, well, very, very speedy acceptance of your current look, I suppose there would be no harm in it. He will begin to unwrap his bandages, and you will see this beautiful face. Uh, Red eyes that looks like more like a mix of a human and a and eyes of a octopus. This smooth gray skin and this mouth that just looks like a lanternfish's mouth more than anything, like a deep sea fish of some kind.
Hmm. As this visage is shown to him, he he goes without a word and almost without any. It's very logical. He goes over and he starts actually touching uh, various parts of the body. So,
As
me.
as you're going closer and you're about to touch, please. He just straightens himself up. Please, personal space.
Oh, he starts rubbing his hands a bit, and you can kind of feel you can certainly hear some of the squishing of slime kind of coming off him. Uh, sorry. Well, uh, you can't blame a kindred for being interested in the way that this works. It's quite amazing, actually. Are there others? You said there were others like us, but
Well, not quite like our variation of the condition. Most, well, all other others are human in appearance, very much so. They retain
really.
their humanity, uh, their apparent humanity from
Hmm. Hmm.
their embrace, as we call it, returning the process that makes us this.
I
However,
see.
our blood does contort and twist us into certain different things.
I see. And it's almost as if he's writing all of this down in like in a notebook within his mind. Oh, yes, I see. Condition. Yeah. Honestly, I'd like to. Honestly, if I could, I'd like to see these non physically altered kindred. Surely,
Well,
surely.
I am, well, apparently you have been seen. And these are not rumors that go away lightly. And we have a certain, quite delicate situation at the moment. You and others are at war with a different society within our kind, a war that is engulfing this city, meaning that very, very few places will be safe for anyone not aligned with our enemy, and you are not. I know this is much to take in. It's a political dispute that is quite old, but I have a place where I have gathered most of the loyal members of this, our, well, sect, I suppose you could call it. That's how it is termed. It is called the Camarilla. It's an organization that tends to want to keep us hidden from most people. A fairly normal and understandable goal in my humble opinion. But I do have a place underground that is secure for the moment and has place for a couple of more people if you would want to stay there.
He kind of he scratches under his chin again as he says that. Well, that'd be perfectly fine, but what do we do about my bugs? I can't just leave them here at their. They would certainly, starve to death, or at the very least, eat each other to survive. And frankly, then I'd lose all my specimens. I surely, is there another solution to that? I mean, if it is, if need be, I guess going to this place.
This place is a mobile home, yes?
Yes, it's the best I could afford, and well,
Well,
frankly,
then we would be able to move this, right?
actually, yes, you're quite correct. We could quite easily move this from
Good,
from here.
good. He begins to put on his stuff once more, and he just, well, I would not want to take any decision that where I might put your home in jeopardy, but well, I can direct you. Um, please, and he just gestures over to the driver's seat.
He he does so. He goes to this driving thing, if you will.
In the interest of not prolonging this scene for an hour, Theodore will guide you through the city. You will be. You'll notice that you'll be going quite a few, what you think are decoy like different corners and different things. You think you passed the same place more than once, but in the end, you will come to a garage. You will also notice that this guy is on the phone at one point, and you will come to is a garage next, or that has two doors, one out to an alley, and he will park it in there, and you'll notice that there is a couple of people, and he'll just say, "These with me. These people are with me. Please, how many cages? Well, how many of these containers of your friends are there?"
He kind of starts muttering off. There's about 10. Yes, about 10. Yes. Sorry.
Oh, well, you must be keeping busy, I must say. Well, um, come with me, and you'll see that he will actually go in and begin to take some of them out, and the other people will also begin to carry some of them. I'm guessing that Roach will have certain shouts of "be careful" and stuff, but
Yes, he's like, yes, he's very much. Oh, he's like, please be careful. The very delicate. Oh, that's he very much as if like a mother watching their children
hmm.
going to school for the first time or what have you.
You'll notice also that the garage is closed down, like the doors are closed, and you go through a small door that leads down through a couple of maintenance rooms, and you will get into what you think is the sewers. But yes, you're also quite certain that something's going on because at some point, as you come out, Theodore, this guy does something that tinkles you. You're quite certain that, well, you felt it a couple of times when something in the blood stirs, like you get a sensation that you didn't get before. Out of character, he uses a discipline at least once. Um, but you will actually be helped. Your bugs will be carried down into the sewers, and you will arrive at a place that, for all in the world, it looks like it more like resembles a bunker. If you were to guess, you would say maybe some of this place was a bomb shelter, like a bomb shelter from nuclear bombs, maybe from the 50s or 60s.
A fallout shelter.
Essentially, yes, like a fallout shelter. Some of it looks makeshift, or like someone has since then done some changes. But there are some clear indications that has been had another use before. But you will find an actual fair amount of room for your cages. And this guy, he's walking around and he seems to be, well, he's not as enthusiastic about it as you, but he does seem to take great care and actually like these things get their space, and it's away from, well, anyone else. I mean, you came in through a place where you didn't really see anyone else, and this part of this bunker seems somewhat more empty. It's a bit more private.
He seems to be enjoying this very much. He kind of makes sure that all the little cages and aquariums and such for the insects are kind of placed in the right kind of spots to make them comfortable. And he just starts just looking over every single one of them. Well, I think they'll certainly like it down here. They
I
probably.
certainly hope so. It is so good to finally have another part of the family here. Um, this will be your room. I will allow myself to extend a bit more privilege to our family down here.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. And he kind of puts he kind of puts down a bag, if you will, a backpack, and inside it are, of course, notebooks and various other things.
Oh, and one more thing. I'm terribly sorry, but I do think I must take your former home and well, get rid of it somehow. I will, of course, compensate you for the cost. But it is a security risk. It can be traced to us. I hope this is not too much of a loss for you.
Not at all, not at all. Uh, he,
Well,
he he gives him the materials. Frankly, this place is frankly perfect for what I need.
good. I'm quite sure they will know that I sent you. But please, make yourself at home. Take some time. I will have its bed brought in here as soon as possible. Oh, and you must excuse me. Please, just be your very cordial and normal self to everyone, and you'll get along fine. If there's problems, tell them that Theodore has vouched for you, and yes, please make yourself at home. I, however, must tend to quite a few things, but yes, I will have to leave you, but I will speak to you very soon.
Yes. He simply nods as he moves back to his collection as this scene comes to its very quick and unusual conclusion. He's simply looking over his bugs and saying, "Well, we're certainly going to be enjoying ourselves down here."
And as he begins to reassure his family that they'll be quite all right, this scene will come to a close. Thank you very much, player, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.